In this video, I will be taking a look at some of the features and customizations on the MDX ALGO indicators. These indicators very quickly became my favorite trading tools, not only for the beautiful visual appeal, but for their beautiful features as well. And the recent updates, you guys, has only made them even better. So that being said, guys, always remember that these are to be treated as indicators to provide confluence to your own analysis. I know there's some very cool features, which I will get into very soon here, that can actually point out trade setups with exact targets, stop losses, and so on. But always remember to do your own research, do your own analysis as well to go with that. You're using these as confluence. Don't just blindly take every signal without considering other factors, for example. But I've seen a lot of people ask what the correct settings are for these indicators. There's no magical settings that'll ever be 100% accurate with any indicator, but you can backtest and fine tune things to kind of suit your own trading style, because everybody has different trading strategies. Everybody has different ways of analyzing things, so it's always important, guys, to do backtesting and find out how these indicators are going to play into your trade style. But with that, all that being said, guys, let's hop right into this. Yeah, as I mentioned, just beautiful looking indicators. I really love the color schemes that you can choose from with these. Up on top here, I have the MDX Oscillator 4. In the middle here on my regular chart here, I have the MDX ALGO 3. And below, we have the MDX Oscillator 5. All very, very neat indicators in my opinion. Obviously, the main one here, the ALGO 3, has most of the settings and customizations, so I'm going to bring that up here. We're just going to go over what everything kind of does here. So to start things off, if you're like me and you just use regular candles on your charts, make sure you don't have the Heikin-Ashi box checked here. If you do use Heikin-Ashi candles, make sure you check this. It does change things slightly with the signals, so do keep that in mind. Here we can change things from scalp to swing settings, and I'll show you in a little bit what that will do here. Candle color, like I said, we have a few different color schemes to choose from. I like the gradient one. It does take a little bit here. One thing to mention, guys, is the indicator with these updates has just been running a tad bit slow. It kind of takes like 5 seconds to load some things, but later this week, that update, there should be another update, I guess. The team is working on the efficiency and speed of these indicators as we speak, so yeah, that will speed up. But either way, guys, just getting right back into it here. Here's another color scheme here. The other ones are just kind of regular. I personally choose this one. All personal preference there. I know a lot of you guys like to invert your candle colors, and you are actually able to do that now with this update as well, which is cool. I usually just leave mine regular, but some people it helps with the emotional side of things, just looking to sell as you're on your way up and buy on the way down. That's just flipping the colors helps a lot of people see things better that way. My favorite thing about this indicator by far at this point is this trend confluence option, and that would actually be this red and green moving average here. So you have a whole list of different kinds of moving averages here. Something that a lot of people in the private Discord have been using has been on the setting TMA, 10, and the hourly. So what this means is this, no matter what chart time frame I go on, right now I'm on the 15-minute chart, but I can go on the 5-minute, the 3-minute, the 1-minute, whatever I want, and this moving average is going to stay the same because this average is showing the trend of the hourly chart, even if we're on a different, more degenerate time frames or whatever as we're actually entering trades. So very powerful tool, because I know if you guys follow my channel, you'll know that I quite often talk about, yeah, I have no problem being a degenerate just like the next guy and trading on the 5-minute chart, but I want to know what the hourly's doing, what the 4 hourly's doing, that kind of thing, and kind of seeing how the trend is playing out before really zooming in rather, into those degenerate time frames to kind of get that pinpoint accuracy on the entry. So very cool that you can just add an hourly trend here. You can see it was very powerful here. I'm going to zoom it right into the 5-minute in a little bit here, and we'll kind of take a look at how that looked. But yeah, so that's very cool. This trend confluence, so if we have this checked, it's only going to give us other signals. And I mean, you don't see it right now. My chart's pretty bare bones here. But if I add signals, this will give us our long and short signals on the indicator. And so these will only give us the direction that the hourly trend is having confluence with. So as we're trading above the green, you're not going to see short signals coming into play. It's not going to give you all that choppy price action. It's not going to try and just guess a top or scalp a top, anything like that. It's only going to give you the signals for the direction that the trend is pertaining to. And now with this recent update, we can actually add a second one as well. I'll just do that here. Oops. Let that load. So now we also have this different average. I have the moving average here on average, 20, and again on the hourly. So we're actually currently coiling right between these two trend confluences right here. Lately, I've only been using the TMA one. So that's just what I'm going to keep it on right now, just to keep things clean for you guys. Other than that, what's the next thing here? We can go into market flow. So this will give us another moving average type looking thing, a very faint line. But this will basically be showing us the momentum of the order books. So, I mean, you can consider that when you're doing your analysis. Again, it kind of acts as resist support. Just another little bit of confluence for your charts. Take profit and trend exhaustion. I usually do have these on my chart. You guys, like quite often, me personally, when I'm looking at the charts, I don't even have the signals on for the long and short generally. Just because, as I mentioned, this is just an indicator and I want to make sure I do my own analysis. And then later, as things are agreeing with what I'm seeing, that's when I'll kind of turn on those signals. Because otherwise, I find that, you know, with the art of war, know your enemy, I know I can get FOMO. And I don't want to get FOMO on random calls. Like, if we start getting long signals kind of up here when we've already had this big move and we are trading so far away from this average, I'm not as interested in taking more long positions up here. So I'd rather be looking for those positions as we're trading along this. So this would be one of those times where I would be interested in checking out what the 5-minute chart is doing and kind of really deciding how things are looking with the momentum, if we're getting any double bottoms, bullish divergences, anything like that. That's kind of how I use that. So I'm much more interested in taking along at these levels just because we do have this trend confluence now than I was back here, just because I felt like we were overextended. But we might just end up having some kind of a time-based correction here before taking a leg up. If we end up dropping these lows here and this indicator flips red, I think then it makes a lot of sense that we'd kind of start targeting these levels down here. But yeah, we're going to have to see how that goes. Yeah, just going back into the options here. So like I said, I generally don't have the signals on, but yeah, just doing one thing at a time here. The take profits and trend exhaustion is both orange dots. And those are just kind of warning signals. And again, one of the hardest things to do in trading, I found when I was learning, is taking profits. And that's still a battle at times. When you get into a winning trade, you feel like the smartest person in the world, and you really get the feeling once that greed happens that you want to double down on your position. But quite often that's a signal that you should be taking some profits rather than doubling down. And this indicator with that checked really does kind of help to really just emphasize that for you on the charts. Stoch RSI, these will be blue dots that'll form. Again, just showing if it appears above the price action, it's going to be a bearish divergence on the Stoch RSI. If it's below the price, then it's going to be a bullish divergence. You can see a few of them here. Right now, we have a bullish divergence on the Stoch RSI there. Next, I'm just going to take away some of this stuff just to clean things up for you. Next is very cool. So here we have a probability calculator. And this is going to actually show us the probability of kind of where this candle is going to make it to. So right now it's set to step 1%. So all of these targets are 1% apart. And this indicator is giving you the percent chance that the candles are going to make it to those levels. So very cool. Generally speaking, the first target's a very close move. But very cool that it does give you these kinds of probabilities. Very neat. Next, I want to bring up the trade feature here. This is very cool, and I think what most people kind of look at quite often. You can see, yeah, this actually got a beautiful trade. So this thing actually shows you exactly where it would take an entry, where its stop loss would be, where its take profits are. One thing that I really like about this, again, it's just really slapping you in the face with, hey, take profits when you're on your way up. Even though the move kept going, it's just showing that, you know, it's not a bad idea to at least start locking in some of your position. And this really just helps emphasize that as well. So, yeah, this just kind of shows right where it would have entered, would have been at the end of this box. So right here. Obviously did not get stopped out, hit all three of its targets and still climbing. So just a beautiful trade by that. But this is one of those things, you guys, that again, it is to be used as confluence. Like, yes, it's accurate quite often. I've been watching it. It has been nailing a lot of trades, but sometimes I like to keep looser stop losses, and or if the chart's reversing, then I might actually catch something before it and get out of a position or whatever. But you can adjust things a little bit with this. This number over here will actually just kind of move where this is going to be on the chart. If you don't like it so close to the price here, you could just make this number bigger and it would slide these numbers over. Risk, this will just kind of choose how tight the stop loss is and how close the targets are. So the higher risk that you're willing to throw in there, you're going to notice the stop loss and the take profits get a little further away from your entry, just because you're taking on a little more risk and going for a little more reward, right? So if I change this from a 2 to a 4, we're going to notice a difference. Once it loads here in a few seconds, you're going to notice these numbers all jump around. So it'll be interesting to see how many of its targets. See, yeah, very cool. So the stop loss just actually loosened below at least this little bit of structure back here. So I tend to actually agree with this a little more. This is more my trade style. And it still reached its 3 take profits. Very cool. So yeah, this thing absolutely nailed those trades there, or that trade rather. So yeah, very cool feature on this indicator. Very, very cool. I'm just going to remove that to clean things up again. This support and resistance box, this is an interesting one as well. I'm actually going to remove the trend confluence. I'm going to add the support resistance. So this will actually map out some important pivotal points in the market for you. You're going to see some blue lines appear. There. So if you are new to trading and you don't really know what you're looking for with support resist flips and stuff like that, this can be very useful. It can definitely help you start recognizing what important levels in the market look like and stuff like that. Or you know what, even a guy like me, let's say I'm going on a losing streak, I'm not looking at the charts properly, or I was on vacation, I just haven't been looking at charts, and I just kind of want a second opinion about things, about how I'm mapping things out. Very cool that this indicator can map out those lines for you. So again, there's just so many cool features with this indicator. And you can obviously set it up exactly how you want. Like I said, I keep mine pretty bare bones. How do I usually have mine set? I usually have my take profits and exhaustions. And then I also usually turn on my any divergences. I love looking for divergences, and that's actually what I'll get into on the Oscillator 4 and Oscillator 5 right away here. But yeah, you can just see that this just maps out where there's divergences happening in the chart. So again, just another bullish divergence showing up below this 1 hour trend. Very cool stuff here. Last thing with the ALGO 3 here is the dashboard. So you can add this little, basically just a little data screen. should appear right here. Yeah, so it kind of actually outlines which each time frame is kind of looking like. So again, just getting a quick view of the overall market without having to kind of flip between a whole bunch of charts over and over. This indicator just does such a good job of really hitting you with the trends. Just being able to check out how things are while you're on different time frames and stuff like that. Very cool. This win rate down here. So this would be that probability calculator, how often that it is correct about the direction of the candle, basically. And that was these guys here. So yeah, very good success rate for guessing the direction. Obviously, it's a small move generally for the first target, but yeah, still a cool feature. I like that it keeps track of its own stats and stuff like that. I'm just going to remove that. And then we're going to go into the Oscillator 4 up here, you guys. Again, looks very cool. I love the color scheme on this. It does have this Bollinger Band. I believe that's a Bollinger Band that's up there built right into it here, so you can kind of see when the price is starting to squeeze. Not sure. Oh, I just wanted to clean this up. Yeah, so what I typically look for, I'm not really a bands guy personally. I mean, I can see that obviously you get near the bottom, it's support, up is resistance, stuff like that. My trade style, I really like to find double tops, double bottoms with divergences and that kind of thing. So that's what I really like to see on this indicator. Obviously it shows regular and hidden divergences. Very cool. So obviously the R's are regular divergences, color in red obviously bearish, green obviously bullish. So yeah, R is regular divergence and H is hidden divergence. But then we also have these orange dots and yellow diamonds. Just warnings on the indicator here. I can pull up the settings with this too. I haven't really fooled around with too much of this, but yeah, it's pretty simple here. Basically points out divergences, deviations, and warnings. The deviations, that would be these little boxes like up here, down here. So yeah, just depending what your trade style is there. I personally mostly just use this for the divergences. But yeah, very cool indicator. It's nice when you see these indicators all kind of lining up. When you have the Oscillator 4, the ALGO 3, and the Oscillator 5 all kind of lining up, telling you the same thing, that's where these tools can be very powerful. The Oscillator 5 is probably honestly one of my favorite indicators. Like, other than the trend confluence here, this Oscillator 5 quickly became one of my favorites. Basically, it reminds me of a really jacked up RSI, because the relative strength index, the RSI, is the only other tool that I've generally used. I don't like to confuse myself with too many indicators. So before I tried out these indicators, I honestly only really used the RSI. And this Oscillator 5 really reminds me of that, except just beefed up. It just really points out any divergences all over the place. Like you get these, again, the R's and the H's, just to go with your overall trend confluence. Also just showing when things are kind of getting oversold, when things are getting overbought, stuff like that. So yeah, very cool indicator as well. Hop into the settings here. So yeah, on all these indicators, you have the option to invert colors if you want. You can, let's just see what this does here. Oscillator smooth. Oh yeah, so just depending how you want to see it. Yeah, that's cool. So a lot of visual here. Those dots. Oh, I guess I can't get rid of them. But yeah, again, we just see a whole bunch of things in here that you can play around with. The overbought areas, oversold areas. Yeah, so you can basically just add a lot of different things to add confluence to your analysis there. This is all pretty straightforward here. Again, regular and hidden divergences, potential indicator top, potential indicator bottom. That would be these guys here, the potential bottom and top. That would be those symbols there. Yeah. So I think that's about all I wanted to go over on these indicators. Overall, very cool. These are easily my favorite indicators now. I've been using them for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months or something like that. Like I said before that, I really only use the RSI, but I love the way these tools all work together. Can be super powerful stuff. Again, they are to be used as confluence. I'm just going to actually hop over to the 5-minute chart here just to get another look at things. I just want to bring up this indicator once again with the trend confluence here on the 5-minute. I will add signals here. Just to kind of show you what I meant when this indicator will only give you the signals of the direction, basically. So you can see how this would have been powerful. I mean, you're getting long signals, and once again, when you start getting far away from the moving average, I'm less inclined to take these positions. And again, that's one of those things where I don't really like to have the signals on all the time, just because that can help me get FOMO, where I think it's going to absolutely break up to the upside again. But that never necessarily happened right away. So depending what kind of leverage I'm using and stuff, yes, I would have been fine. We still stayed above the this trend, that hourly trend. So that's where this can be really powerful, guys. These are the signals that I'm interested in taking when we get longs and we're just kind of hovering right around above this green support on the hourly. Same with these. I mean, these have been very strong signals, and even right now, you know what? Yes, there's absolutely a chance that we do have a market top right now. We could definitely be overextended with that pump. We have kind of set this lower high here. So there's a little bit of resistance here. So, and after such a large move that we had last night, yes, absolutely, we could end up breaking down below this. This trend could flip to red, and then we start trading to the downside. But overall, just the way the trend is going right now, I'm very interested to take these long positions when we are getting them right around our hourly confluence. Nice tight stop losses, obviously, and stuff like that. So those can be very powerful positions. And we've seen this type of thing where the trend really gets going with this indicator. I want to go back to there was a time here. Yeah, like just look at how powerful that trend confluence is, because if we didn't have that checked, we'd probably end up getting a whole bunch of chop, a lot of longs, a lot of shorts. They should appear in a few seconds here. Oh. What happened here? For some reason, when I took off the trend confluence, it disappeared. That was interesting. Well, either way, you're gonna have to take my word for it. If I took off that trend confluence there, we would have had long signals in here, and there's a good chance that you'd end up getting chopped up. But this trend confluence just showing how the hourly trend is still showing resistance. I mean, you're taking these short signals all the way down. I mean, that's a very powerful tool right there. And then same thing on the way up, right? And that's kind of what I'm hoping to see right now. I mean, it's already played out pretty good over the last day or two here. It's already been bang on here. But I would love to see this take another leg to the upside. I think that would just be fantastic. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you with this indicators and how they can be so powerful. Again, obviously not taking every random signal without thinking things through. If we're getting long signals up here or something like that when we're way overextended, obviously that's where you got to be a little cautious. But yeah, these tools used together can be very cool. So there is actually a 7-day free trial as well. I think that's going to be a thing until the end of December, if I remember correctly. There is a referral link in the description down below if you guys do want to try out these indicators. If you don't want to end up paying, obviously just cancel it before your week is up. Even cancel it a few days before. I believe you still get the full week to try it out. So yeah, definitely worth a try, because I mean, these indicators, like I said, they quickly became my favorite, and if you can try it for free, I mean, why the hell not? So that is there. That referral link is in the description down below. So Other than that, guys, if you appreciated this look at these beautiful indicators here and just getting a little rundown of what everything does and that sort of thing, do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. With that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.